everybody, JawsJr here for another in-shop adventure. The nastiest job that we can do. Cleaning out my slab saw. And I am also going to replace these bearings. I screwed up when I rebuilt this saw previously and I put the wrong bearings in there. I believe I put them in. The wrong ones in there. So I'll be taking all of this apart and replacing all 10 bearings. I have 10 new ones sitting on the shelf, and so that's now my goal. But this thing is nasty. It got away from me. It's a good thing I haven't used it in the past 6 months. Now I'm draining the oil out slowly. And I'll see if I can salvage a couple gallons of oil to get put back in here. So this is this is the dirtiest job that any of us could possibly do. But that's okay. Because the goal is to make some real pretty stuff with this thing once I get it cleaned up. Now, I'm not going to take you a step-by-step of what I'm doing, but I'll show you little tidbits and video clips along the way. Let's go ahead and talk about what got this so bad while it's still draining. Because what I do with my cutting is once the saw is cleaned out, then I'm going to start cutting obsidian. It's the cleanest material, or some of the cleanest material. So I will start cutting some obsidian. And then after that, after I have quite a bit of it cut, then I'm going to go to cut some agate. Like this one here that's already been glued on. And mixed with that, I might do, like if I've got a special piece of quartzite or something else that's fairly clean, I'll go ahead and do that. Then after I have a lot of that cut, then I'm going to move my way into jasper, which is quite messy, especially some types. And then I will finish up with the mud jasper. And that is the stuff from Big's area. And that consists of either mud jasper or rhyolite or something like that. This also includes the Beers Mountain. And then that is what got this saw so bad, is that my first or last cuts were of Beers Mountain and red jasper. That stuff will mud up a saw so fast your head will spin. Then just as I was getting ready to clean it up, life with family turned upside down, and my time here at the world headquarters was significantly reduced. So that's kind of give you an idea of what I do. And for those of you who are wondering what saw this is a Highland Park Model J2 18-inch. It was purchased by my grandfather back in the 70s. And this, for those who knows that this particular data plate helps to date this machine. Plus it is a square rail, which is very similar to the design being sold today by Highland Park Lapidary. So the good news is a lot of parts are still available. The downside is the parts that's available today are not the same quality as what's on this machine now. So it's a give and take. Just be thankful that I've got parts available for it if I need them. And yeah, just go from there. I'll leave it at that. So with this still draining, I'm going to let it go for several hours. I'll come back out here on occasion and start stirring the sludge up and let it drain out. And then I'll probably get maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 gallons of oil out of it that I can reuse. And then the rest of it, I'm just going to chalk it up to being lazy and not changing the oil soon enough and not paying attention. And it just end up getting wasted because the amount of time I'll have to spend on it's not going to be worth it. I'm sure by the time I get done and put all the sludge into this 6-gallon bucket down here, I might get another gallon that'll float to the top when everything settles. All in time, we'll find out that out later. So, I'm going to let it drain for a while. Well, I forgot to pull the camera out, but I wanted to show you guys some things. See, this is one. Yes, it is. Now, these roller bearings, you see how that one spins? You see how this one does not? That was causing my problem. And these here are rolling very rough. And see, these are the ones that attach right there. Yes, I know it's upside down to how you guys would probably look at it. This is the back side of the carriage. And that's how this would mount on the back side. And these are right on that square rail. So I'm in the process of replacing all those bearings. I have to, of course, remove the bolt and the washers. Then you can see right there, right below the bolt there's a piece of brass. It's a brass bushing. That has to get pressed out. And then it has to get pressed back into the new bearing. And I have to do that 12 times over again. So I would show you, but it's a two-handed operation. I will show you one of these with one replaced and the other one's not yet. Here's one of the bottom rails. Now see if you can listen to this. Oops. The blue ones are the bad ones, the black ones are the new ones. But that gives you an idea of why I was not happy with how my carriage was rolling. That's not good. This is how it's supposed to be. Well, it is time to put this thing back together. It's not the best cleaning job, but you know, it's good enough for now. I've got a long-term project set up for this saw, which will require a much deeper cleaning. But for now, this is what we got, ready to start putting things back together. We are now assembled. I also had to change out the blade, put my old one on after I peened the edge down with a file. I'll have to let you know what type of file it is right here on the screen because you can't say that word on YouTube. So what's happened is the old MK301 wobbled back and forth, back and forth. You spun it and it was back and forth, back and forth. There's probably, half a millimeter. Now this one here I can actually turn it on because there's no oil in it. Very little runoff is what we call it. Very little. So I'm ordering a new blade. The MK301, yes, they filed bankruptcy. And this is the second blade of mine that I've had the second blade of theirs that has warped. And I don't know why. This one here is old stock, new old stock from the 1970s. And if I remember, I'll put a picture of what this looked like brand new here. So now I'm going to put my oil in it and start cutting some rocks. I'll do a test cut to make sure everything was working okay. And then I'll get real serious about this obsidian cutting.